Hi friends, welcome to today's video. My name's Stephanie and today I'm so excited to be sharing my September polish pickup wish list with you. So if you don't know, Polish Pickup is this monthly kind of marketplace. It takes place on the first weekend of every month. There's always a new theme and a ton of indie brands get together to sell their polishes or other kind of hand and nail care products like scrubs or top coats or whatever. I feel like September is a really popular month, probably closely behind Rewind, which happens in July, because September is always centered around Halloween. The theme this month is vintage Halloween, and I'm really excited for it. So let's see what the Polish Pickup website has to offer. Alrighty, so here is the website for this month's Polish Pickup. The theme is vintage Halloween, so let's just get straight into the nail polish. As always, we are going to be just looking at these first two rows, and I'm not really seeing anything that stands out. I mean, the one that catches my eye is Alchemy Lacquer's Monster Mash, but I feel like it feels familiar. Not quite Polish for Days Goblins and Ghoulies, but it looks like it could be a cousin. And I realize that as beautiful as purple polishes with glowy blue shimmers are, I need to scale it back, and I really don't wear these darker ones too often, so I'm not even going to click into it, but it is a beautiful polish. But yeah, we've got some thermals, magnetics, but nothing really catching my eye here, so we can just keep it moving. I hate that I'm tempted by this cupcake polish base coat. It is just a pink smoothing base coat. I have a couple of those. It is $9 though, so that does feel like a good price. Let me see if it says... Okay, I'm not sure how big a cupcake polish bottle is, but I was gonna say the pink smoothing bases that I have from Holo Taco and Mooncat I know can be on the pricier side, especially for just a base coat. So I think that $9 sounds like a decent price. I would say though that this looks a little bit more jelly, a little bit less crelly-like, and also a tiny bit warmer too. So if you don't like the more white-based pinks of the Holo Taco or Mooncat bases, you might like this one. Other than that, the Beau Revs is definitely super gorgeous. I mean, I was just talking about glowy blue shimmers in a purple base, and this one definitely looks more up my alley because it's a little bit lighter. I feel like the shimmer even has this kind of greenish color to it, and the flakies are gorgeous. There is something that does feel very familiar about this polish, but I just can't put my finger on it. So it's possible that it might not even be something from my own collection, and it's just something familiar from like a previous Polish Pickup month maybe. So I really am tempted by this one. The more that I look at these photos, I think this is definitely a polish I would just love to wear. So you know what? I'll add it to the wish list, but I will definitely be double checking my collection because again, it's just really bugging me that it feels so familiar, but I just can't put my finger on it. So back to this chunk, I did see Caitlin swatch this Bluebird polish and she described it as like radioactive mac and cheese, which is definitely very accurate. I think it's fun, unique, but not a color that I would be wearing, so I will be skipping that. And the only other interesting one is this by Vanessa Molina called Hocus Pocus. The flakies look so cool against the base color. It's just very Halloween-y, but I feel like I've been having a weird thing with flakies where I'm just not loving wearing them lately. So yeah, it's very like they understood the assignment, but I just unfortunately am not interested. So we can move on to this next chunk here, and there's a lot of thermals this month and magnetics. I feel the Crystal Knockout is immediately catching my eye. Which this is another one that I think is just like so fun for Halloween, but again, even though I'm a big crelly lover, I just don't really see myself wearing this. And you guys should know how I feel about thermal polishes, where as fun as they are, unfortunately, they likely are going to die being in my collection without me having worn them like a decent amount of time. So sad. If I had a smaller collection and like no Halloween polishes, I feel like I would love this one. It is just so cute. To be honest, I'm not really feeling these other shades. I mean, this Cameo Colors one does catch my eye too, but it also immediately reminds me of Windswept by Night Owl Lacquer, which I had picked up last year, and I really love that one. I thought it was just so unique with that kind of warm gray base color and then this like fiery mix of shimmers and flakies. I think this Cameo though has more like black flakies and a little bit of a darker sort of element in there. I don't remember Windswept having that. So yeah, it's definitely gorgeous, super fitting, giving me those like spooky fall feels, which I do love, but not enough to have a second polish of it. The Cleona also does look amazing. I just kind of want to like tap into it real quick because I feel like these swatches are just so freaking stunning. It kind of looks like a universe. Oh my gosh, it is so cool. But as much as I do like magnetics, I feel like I just don't wear them that often. So I'm gonna do myself the favor and not get it, but it is beautiful. So okay, we can finally move on to page number 2. And right off the bat, this is such a beautiful chunk of polishes here. I mean, immediately the Femme Fatale jumps out at me, but I'm like, isn't that Polish for Days, Goblins and Ghoulies? I feel like it looks like a sister polish. So I guess if you missed out on that one, this might be a good alternative, but if I remember correctly, Femme Fatale's like a really small bottle, so it's very pricey. I also think the Ethereal is stunning. I just want to like tap into this one and look at it. Oh, I love glowy polishes like this, but I feel like Bee's Knees Lacquer came out with a very similar polish called Lemon. At least it's similar in my mind. I don't even have that one, so it's just one of those shades that I feel like I can admire on other people, but I wouldn't like how it looks on me. Such a cool polish though, totally giving those spooky kind of vibes, where in a way it also reminds me of Island Pea's Flicker, but this obviously has a much stronger yellowy gold shimmer going on. Oh, but it's so glowy, so gorgeous. And I am also kind of intrigued by this Dom magnetic, which I was just saying, you know, I don't want to get into magnetics, and I'm not going to, but I like this color. Like, this base color is just so gorgeous. Inspired by the creepiest not safe for kids book ever, Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. Oof, I remember, look guys, I don't know if I mentioned it already, I'm a big scaredy cat, so I do not like anything scary. Halloween is definitely fun and all, but I am not one for scary stories, movies, anything. If anything, I like a scary video game, but anything else, absolutely not. So just reading that inspo is giving me like flashbacks, and I'm just no longer interested. Not to be so dramatic, but no, the base is super gorgeous. It's a dusty gray with a blue multi-chrome and red orange to orange shifting shimmer magnetic. I guess now that I look at it, it kind of reminds me of Mooncat's Smokescreen, but obviously missing that blue element in there. Maybe this is a little bit warmer and that's why I like it, but not like it enough to get it. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this chunk, I think. I mean, the other magnetics look cool, but I don't even want to entertain them, so we can move on. And oof, this was the other one that I saw Caitlin swatch and I was like, I might get that one. This is Glisten and Glow's Casper, which I also love the label. So freaking cute. Obviously inspired by the movie Casper, the Friendly Ghost. It is a white-based jelly loaded with color-shifting shimmer that shifts blue to purple. I feel like you guys know I'm such a big fan of these really ethereal, glowy, ghostly kind of polishes. The one I immediately think of is Mooncat's Ghost of Hecate because it's the other white kind of base with a glowy blue shimmer, but I think the shimmer in Mooncat's is actually a lot stronger. Like, in some of these photos, the shimmer looks a lot more subdued, which I don't always love. I think it does work in this polish though because the base color is so light, and in a way it also kind of reminds me of a Cleona polish called Radiance, which I'm pretty sure I've also seen Caitlin swatch, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I freaking love that. It is so pretty. So if anything, I think I might lean more towards the Leona instead of this one, just because the shimmer is a little bit more glowy, but I think it should be different enough than Mooncat's Ghost of Hecate, because again, I'm not trying to dupe myself, even though I really do love this kind of color combination. But other than that, there's nothing else that's really catching my eye in this chunk here, so we can move on to the next one. Oh, I did see KB Shimmers. That's the spirit. This is such a fun Halloween Crelly, and you probably would think that I would be so all over it, and maybe in another life, because I already had a very similar Halloween Crelly, but it was from Painted Polish. It literally was so similar, where it had the white base, the orange and black matte hex glitters, but the glitters were smaller in Painted Polish, if you're familiar with their Crellys. And I had it for a couple of years, but just never wore it. So look, I am a fan of Halloween themed polishes, but I need to draw the line, right? And this is one that I'm like, look, it is so freaking cute. Like, whoever gets this, I love this for you. I'm going to live vicariously through you, because it is just so perfect. But unfortunately, it is not a polish that is going to be living in my collection. So yeah, these other ones, not really feeling. I mean, I think I saw swatches of this Linby designs feeling ghostly, inspired by Pepper's Ghost. Not sure what that is. Feeling ghostly aqua base with pink to peach to green shifting shimmer. Super beautiful, but also very similar to a lot of the other polishes that I've been feeling this year, like Lurid, Nettle, and Briar. I think this would just be a little bit lighter, almost like not a pastel version, but I don't know, the base just is a little bit different, but just something along those lines. And again, I'm not trying to dupe myself, even though it is so pretty. So you know what, we'll get out of here, move on to page number 3. And okay, there are some beauties here. The first shade that stood out to me is Nailed It's Monster Mash, which I know it's a thermal, but it's just so cute. I really love this one. Inspired by the Monster Mash song. A minty green to purple thermal with a strong green to purple shifting aurora shimmer. How fun. I wish I had a smaller collection so that I could just like repeat my polishes a lot more often than I do now, because this is such a cute little thermal. The colors are just so pretty. The shimmer is pretty. Oh, so darling. So I also did see Night Owl Lacquers by the Pale Moonlight, inspired by vintage looking Halloween art with a glowing moon. That's fair. It's a clear base. Really? Okay, I thought it would be like a light gray, but it's described as a clear base with glowy copper to bronze to gold shifting shimmer and holographic dust. This is another one that's immediately reminding me of the Ethereal one. Also, I would say maybe this is even more similar to Island Pea's Flicker, but this has a much lighter base, or the shimmer is more glowy in this one. So oof, I'm so tempted by it. I just love these kinds of shades so much, but already having Island Pea's Flicker, I feel like I just don't need another one. Wow, yeah, even like in indirect light, it looks like it just is so yellow. Totally giving like pale moonlit vibes. Super gorgeous. I think Night Owl understood the assignment here, but unfortunately I will have to pass and just cross my fingers that Flicker is more than enough for me. And the last one that I wanted to look at is Noodle's nail polish. This is Cool Halloween, inspired by a Halloween Kool-Aid ad. That is so funny. I don't think I've ever seen that. This is a white Crelly with matte and metallic orange and peach glitters and a touch of fine gold hollow glitters. I love Crellys like this. This one immediately though did remind me of, I think it's just called Pumpkin Spice by Noodle's nail polish, but Pumpkin Spice does have these brown glitters in there as well. So I know some people aren't a fan of like a darker glitter or flaky added into the mix. So if that's you and you're like, yeah, Pumpkin Spice would be perfect if it was just the orange glitters in the white base, this is the answer. Super cute, so fun and festive, but again, just one that I feel like I basically already have. So yeah, unfortunately, we are just gonna move on from here. And okay, this Paradox polish, it's just another, like, they understood the Halloween assignment. Well, I guess technically it's supposed to be vintage Halloween. I don't know if I'm getting vintage vibes from anything, to be honest, but that doesn't matter. As long as it's Halloween, you know, that's the more important thing. This is inspired by vintage Halloween witch kitties, okay? A black when cold to clear when warm thermal with gold and orange hex and circular glitters. Okay, I didn't realize those were gold. I thought they were like green. If they were green, like a lime green, I think I would have liked that more. Not enough to actually get it, honestly, but I don't know. I associate like green, orange, purple, black, like those are the 4 Halloween colors. So I kind of wish they were green. I feel like it would be even more on the nose, but yeah, still, you know, a fun polish. I just wanted to look at that. The Penelope Luz also looks super stunning, but I'm immediately reminded of Mooncat's Mortals Be Warned. I think that one is maybe darker or warmer toned. Like there's something that I feel like is not an exact dupe for it, but definitely similar enough. And oh my gosh, I almost didn't even see this, but here is Painted Polish Witch You Were Here, inspired by a vintage Halloween card. White Crowley featuring emerald, orange, purple, and black metallic glitters. See, these are the exact colors, but there's something there's something about this that I don't love. I feel like it gives me like jester vibes, or I don't know. Such a shame, because I was literally just talking about this color combination being like so on point for Halloween, but seeing it here, I'm just not really feeling it. I feel like I would have loved it so much more if it was like a purple base, maybe with those orange and black glitters and green too. But yeah, white Crowleys for me are kind of hit or miss. I definitely have a few from Painted Polish that I love, but more often than not, I feel like I'm not really a fan of them. So kind of a shame, but yeah, we can move on from here. And from this chunk, I'm not super feeling anything. I mean, the only one, because I've seen some swatches where I'm like, oh, this is really stunning, is Sassy Sauce Polish Simply Shriek, inspired by a female mummy photo. So this is another thermal that is catching my eye. That is this really gorgeous eggplant color when cold that turns colorless when warm, with a purple to blue to green shifting ghost flaky and violet red shifting shimmer. Absolutely gorgeous. Love the contrast of those flakies against the base. The thermal base colors are just really gorgeous too. This is another one that I'm like, oh, it's just such a perfect like Halloween kind of polish. But like I've said so many times already, I feel like I just have a decent amount of them already, and I don't think I could commit. Like if thermals could last forever, right? Stick with me. Just in an ideal world, thermals last forever. They transition as strongly as the first day that you got them. I would hands down get this one, but because they don't, I'm not going to, and it's a shame. It's a shame, but I hope, you know, whoever gets it enjoys it, because it is so stunning. And look, we are finally at page 4, and okay, it is just this one chunk here. I'm not really into these shades, and there's a lot of top coats here. I mean, I just want to peek at this Cuticula Limitless in Zombie Juice, scented in cotton candy, strawberry, raspberry, and pineapple with sugarcane and spun sugar on a base of vanilla and light hints of musk. I'm not gonna lie, I'm so tempted. Those scents sound so yummy, but I just don't need another top coat right now. It always pains me because I hear such great things about this top coat, so maybe one day, but not this month. So last but certainly not least, we have to check out the hand and nail care section, because I just have to see what Sugar Scrub KB Shimmer has this month. Oh my gosh, yes, I remember somebody mentioning this to me, that they were doing amber and oak moss. I also remember seeing this in Ray's video now, inspired by eerie woods. So this is scented like warm amber, deep oak moss notes that evoke the scent of a forest. Gentle hints of cashmere are complemented by fresh citrus and white florals, creating a captivating aroma that invites you to take another whiff. I do remember Ray mentioning that this almost has a bit of like a masculine scent, which I'm okay. I love that. So I'm totally fine. Like, my spectrum is either smelling like fruits or smelling like the forest, apparently. But I think this is going to be so delicious. I mean, I was already sold when I saw the comment mentioning it was going to be like amber scented, because I just love that. Seeing the hints of cashmere sound really promising. If you remember my KB Shimmer haul video I did last month, I picked up one of their cuticle oils that I think was scented in like deep cashmere or something cashmere, and it is so yummy. So assuming it's the same fragrance that's added into here, along with, you know, the other citrus, florals, whatever, I feel like it is going to be so stinking good. So yeah, we're definitely adding this to the wish list. So now we can check out what is on my wish list, and I feel like it's literally 2 things. Yep, it's just my sugar scrub and this Bow Revs polish, which I'm still on the fence about because it's just driving me crazy that I feel like it looks so familiar. Like, I've seen this before, but I just can't put my finger on it, and I'm pretty sure it's not in my collection, but still, I just need to double check that one. So yeah, this is a pretty small little haul. I mean, obviously there were a lot of beauties, but even if I get rid of the Bow Revs and just stick to the sugar scrub, that's fine with me. So that wraps up my September polish pickup wish list. As always, I can't wait to hear what you think of my wish list this month, because it is just so tiny. I mean, I'm not opposed to having very small hauls or anything like that. This month was so hard because I feel like the theme was just so fun. I mean, I guess maybe I don't know how good it was for like being vintage Halloween, but it definitely was giving Halloween vibes, and that's all that I could really ask for. So I thought the offerings were great this month. There were so many beautiful options that I wish I could own, but I just know realistically I wouldn't really wear them that often. So it's a shame, but you know, I'm trying to be responsible here. And as far as the Bow Revs one, because I was really on the fence because it just was so familiar, I finally remembered what it was reminding me of. And it was a previous PPU shade from Polish for Days called Friend Like Me. It's just a little bit darker, where they're not exact dupes, I think, by any means, but they do give very like similar vibes with the colors and finishes. And I did actually end up destashing the Polish for Days. Not that I regret it, because while it is absolutely gorgeous, it was just one of those colors that I wasn't really wearing, and one that I realized it's a color that I love to look at, but not love to wear. So I'm pretty sure that Bow Revs is one that I would love to wear. I feel like the colors being a little bit lighter just make it more up my speed. So who knows? I might regret it in a couple of months, but I really don't think so. I feel like in the winter going into spring season, I feel like I would really love that kind of shade so much. So I'm willing to take the chance, especially since my haul is so small this month. I would rather just not regret it later on. So yeah, I had to share that update with you, but make sure to let me know what's on your wish list this month, or just what you think of this month's theme in general, because again, I feel like the makers did a really great job. It was interesting to see a lot of thermals and magnetics though, and I feel like a lot of people have mentioned wanting to stay away from those. So I'm just curious to know what you guys are gonna get. As a reminder, make sure you stay up to date with my community tab, because I'm gonna post my final order, which is not going to change based off of my wish list now, but I would love to know what your final order is there. And yeah, make sure to leave me any and all thoughts you have down below so we can chat about it. But thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.